All right, we are ready for the head now. So we left the neck like this with this crease in here. I think we left one on the back also. That is fine. We're gonna use them for the face. We do need to define the clavicle here a little bit. So we're gonna use our good old trick. Start here, go around. That's gonna be our clavicle, and we're just gonna cut it to here. Oh, I missed the corner here. So remember, in the face we turn, we had to leave a corner, so we can still add it afterwards. We can just cut in here to here, and then here to here, and then let's join these two cuts. I guess there's something on the back here we can join to, and go across here and here. So with this we can define the clavicle. You can actually extrude it also if you wanted to. You can extrude it in a bit, pull it out. There's your clavicle. You could cut it here to make the little bump more noticeable. This is fine as a base mesh. We need to kind of adjust it here. I don't like this end. It kind of disappears over here, so you would flatten this so it's not so prominent. But these are details you can shape as you go. But for the face, we're going to grab these faces, the ones on the middle, and we're going to extrude up. We should probably grab this too, so the neck doesn't look so strange. Yeah, so we'll hit extrude and hit W so we go straight up instead of the move from the extrude tool. Maybe scale down a bit. That's gonna be our neck. We'll have to round it in a minute here, but we're gonna do the head really fast here. So if you look at the face here, we're gonna leave an extrude here, kind of where the face starts. Then go extrude again and go all the way to the top of the head. Right there. It's gonna look like a pencil head here, but that's fine. Oh, it did move anyway, like I didn't want it to. We can straighten it out, so we'll straighten it out here. Make sure it looks good in here. Oh, the female body here is on my way, so I'm gonna move it out of the way. But yeah, that's about the height we need. So see, now we have this loop is where our head's gonna start, right here. So what we're going to do, well, we could flatten it if you hit the scale, but technically the back of the head starts higher up. Like if you look at the picture even, the head starts higher up on the back than on the front. The jaw comes down a lot lower, so we can leave it like that a little bit. We're going to extrude these faces here, this one's. So the face sticks out from the neck, so we're gonna hit Control E to extrude, and instead of using this move, we'll go to the regular one and just pull forward a little bit. That's gonna be our face. So maybe that's too much. We have this really weird shape. It looks kind of like a cartoon character. What we need to do is round it up a little bit. So we'll just bring the corners down and back. Same with this. Just round it the best you can. I know it's really square, but we'll work with it. So the head is wider on the back than on the front. It kind of does this thing where the back of the head is wider. Then we have the front of the face. If you look at it from the side, you want this to be higher. You could start with a sphere too if you wanted to. There's different ways to go about modeling the face. but I find this a little bit easier. You know, I'll show you other ways here in a minute, but I just find the box modeling a little bit easier to split and to model, because we know the proportions of the face. They are you can divide the face into thirds and then a fourth if you count the forehead. So we're gonna do that in here in a second. And the other thing we need on the face is loops around the muscles of the face. So the face is kind of round on the back and it thins out to the tip of the chin, you know, it kind of comes out like this. So it doesn't look that great yet, but it'll come around just in a second here, because we need more geometry obviously. But again, we always want to start with small and move up afterwards. So the front of the face is fairly flat. We're gonna leave it like this. So if you look at the front of the face and if you study their geometry, about halfway down the head is the kind of the between the eyebrow and the top of the eye on most people. You know, if it's a male, it might be the eyes are higher, there's more jaw, but we'll just put it about halfway. So this is where our eyes are going to sit, so we're going to mark it there. You can, you know, at the same time make this edge a little wider, so the head is not so square, it's more round. You know, I kind of shape it a little bit more. So, you know, if you hit 3, now it's, I guess it's still pretty bad, but we'll fix it here in a second. So, what I wanted to show you from, if you type for or look for muscles of the face, you'll see these pictures. Like this is a good example. You have this muscle that goes around the eye, and there's a similar muscle around the mouth. And that's what lets the eye have so many expressions on it, having these round muscles around it. Same with the mouth, you can have all kinds of expressions. So for your geometry to deform right when you are animating, you need the same loops around the eye. So we're going to try to put them in here. There's a couple more loops that you may want to have, which are around the nose, kind of to wrinkle your nose. You know, you probably know what I'm talking about. But the first thing we're going to do is, so if this is the middle of the face, that's where we're going to put our eyes here. So maybe we can make this flatter if we scale it. You know, scale that mark. Maybe make it a little wider so the head's not so flat. Okay, so we're going to put our eyes over here on the middle of this face, this one right here. I might need to bring that edge a little down, and what we want is a cross here on the middle here. So we're gonna do one loop where above the eyes, kind of where the eyebrows would be, one below, and I do want to put a loop that goes down. But if I put it down now, it might go all the way down the body, which I don't want. So remember how the edge, the multi-cut doesn't work when there's an end gun, that we can actually use for our advantage. So I'm going to put a cut here, just a point, and hit enter or right click. Now we have an end gun here, so if I put a loop here, it's not going to continue because there's an end gun here. It has 5 sides. This polygon has 5 sides, so Maya doesn't know how to put a loop on it, and I'm going to do the same on the back just to save me from cutting all the across the body. So I'm going to put another point here, hit enter. Now I have a 5-sided polygon. You know, let's see, edges. Did I cut it? Yeah, there it is. So there's the cut. So the loop tool will not go down anymore. So I'm gonna grab the knife again, hit control, and put a loop right here on the middle where the eyes would be. Okay, so right there. And then I'm going to grab this point on the middle. This is where eye is going to be. Okay, so right there. So you put it wherever you want it to be. It's like 4 polygons. The one in the middle is gonna be our eye. So we're gonna do a star in here. We're gonna grab the knife again and cut from corner to the middle to corner, right click to complete, corner to middle to corner, right click to complete. And then we'll grab this vertex on the middle, and if you go edit mesh, we're gonna do a chamfer, which is gonna give us a polygon there. So this polygon is our eye. You can shape it now actually. So I can say, so remember you have, your head is about 5 eyes, the width of an eye wide, and you can fit an eye in between the 2 eyes. So from here to here should be about the same distance than from eye to eye, and then from this corner of the eye to about the ear should be 5 eyes width total. So just shape this the best you can. You also want to shape the surrounding part of the eye, so kind of make like a raccoon mask here. You know, you go around like this. Something like that. You know, there's the raccoon mask. And then we'll have to push this face back because our eyes are farther back on the head, right? So there's that muscle, if around the eye that we were looking at just now. So that muscle around the eye right there. And if I click on the first face and then hold shift and double click, you see this is looping around it, which is what we want, because if I add more geometry, it's gonna loop around the eye. That's exactly what we want. So just shape this the best you can as a mask here. Try to shape this like the roundness of those muscles. Don't worry too much. Remember, we're still using this just as a base mesh. We'll move things around. But now we need to do the same thing then on the mouth. But first, we're gonna put the nose in here because we kind of have the prominent features would be eyes, nose is another big one, then the mouth. Then we'll do the ears, which usually we don't pay much attention to. But so again, you can count from this part of the eye to half point here is where the nose is. So you have to eyeball it. I'm gonna say it goes to about right there, and just put a cut there. Now I'm gonna grab these faces on the middle, and we're just gonna extrude them. It's gonna look real funny at first, but I'm gonna hit W to move them. And I'm gonna rotate like this. Maybe scale it in a bit. And then these edges back here, we're gonna collapse. This one and this one. We're gonna collapse them, so collapse. So, and now we just need to shape the nose now. So we'll go vertex, W, move it back, move this. Okay, so we'll go little by little, adding polygons here. Now we need to add the mouth. The mouth is from the nose, so the bottom of the nose is usually a bit lower than the tip. A lot of times, not always. Sometimes the tip of the nose is lower, but we'll pretend it is on this case. The mouth is, if you cut this in half, is not going to be in there. It's going to be a little higher. It's going to be like 3/4 of the way, no, 1/3 of the way up, I should say. So 1/3, yeah. So let's put it about right there. That's going to be the mouth opening. About right there, we'll see. Then we'll put one below the mouth, one right here. So we can enclose it, and then we're gonna draw our mouth, kind of like draw this shape in here. So if you think about the mouth, it kind of comes down from where the pupil is on the middle, all the way down. Inside that line is the corner of the mouth. So we'll cut it like this. We'll cut here and go in, and then do the same on the bottom. Just kind of give it the shape of a mouth, like that. So now we want the same thing that we did over here. We want this loop. We want that kind of loop in here, but you see we have an end gun here, so we won't be able to loop if I try the same. It won't work. The only problem is this face is an end gun, right? So we'll cut it. We'll fix it. We'll click on the corner there and hold Shift and click right there. That end gun's fixed. Click on the middle here. So holding Shift, you snap to the middle. Then click on the corner. Now we have all four-sided polygons, so if I click, it loops around. And now we need to do the same thing that we did here, round it up, so it kind of looks like a mouth. We'll just bring these points down, this out, this in. Yeah, I'm gonna shape it like a mouth. And then the lips obviously need to come out from the face. So right now there's not much geometry to play with there. That's okay. Remember, we always want to get as close as we can with whatever we have, and then we'll add detail. The face might be a little too wide, so we'll thin it out at the tip, you know, at the jawline. Usually it is thinner there, higher up here. Okay, so we have most of the geometry we want. We do want a loop around the nose, so it can wrinkle the nose up, and it could probably go about around the mouth and down to the jaw. So let's cut that right now. I guess we can start from the middle, so we'll cut here, then to the middle. And then from here, go around the nose, go over here. We're gonna make a triangle here, but we'll get rid of it soon here. And then go down around the jaw. So that will let us wrinkle our nose. We do have this triangle here, which will collapse. So that will move that corner up higher, and we won't have this end gun. So we'll collapse that. Oh, I guess we can say merge to center. There we go. You know, and we're almost done with all the geometry we need. You probably need another loop here, and obviously we need a loop on the forehead, a couple more loops here on the forehead. So I should have been shaping as I go, but we'll just go from here. So I'm first just going to show you the geometry you need, and then we'll go from here. So I also like a loop to go around the forehead and around the jaw. Why? Because I like to define the jaw a little bit better, and I find that if I don't put that loop in here, the jaw ends up looking kind of flat. So let's put that in here. So I'm gonna put a cut here to the middle. I don't know if it'll let me do it there. No, it won't let me. So we'll have to do it like this by hand. So we'll cut towards the middle first, and then from here we'll go around the face like this. So we'll pick this face and we'll go up now. I just do this again so I can shape the jaw a little better. And you can pick here which face you're gonna go across. I'm gonna stop here and just use the control, holding control, and just put the loop here. There it is. So now we have a loop that goes around the face and around the jaw. We just need to close this corner. So now you can shape this, right? You can let me grab the edge. oops, you can, let's say we make it wider here. So now you have a corner here you can shape the jaw with. So this is all the geometry you need in here. We obviously need the ears. Well, the face is kind of sticking out way too much, so I'll bring it back a bit. Bring it back. And then it's just all about shaping now, so.
Rounding the head, you know. So this might take a minute to fix. But having this.
Should probably bring the corners of the eye back. So the corner of the eye goes back. This corner of the eye is also farther back than the middle of the eye. And this one, so. Just remember you are a sphere and you kind of see around it. You could actually have one more loop in here too, right there. So the one other thing we need is the ear. The ear is, if you split the head in half, it's kind of on the back of the. So if you look at the drawing here, so if from here to here is, this is halfway point, the ear will be on the back half of the head, and it would also line up with the top part of the eye on the top and on the bottom with the nose. So we can actually follow those loops down here. So if I had to select the faces that are the ear, it would probably be this ones. It might be this ones. It's just the face is too far forward still. So give me a few seconds here to shape this a little better. You know, kind of round things a little bit. Okay, so we'll call this good for now. You know, we'll do a lot more shaping with sculpting. But now we need to put the ear in here. So again, we go kind of from the corner of the eye from the top, and this is the closest edge I can find. So I'm gonna do these three edges, and we're gonna put the ear here real fast. I guess we could include these edges too, these faces too. I don't know if we need to. That would make it too long going back. So I'm just gonna use, you know, that's up to you. You could use this too and kind of scale it thinner. Yeah, let's do that, I guess. We'll do that. We'll extrude here. We'll go Actually, let's go in a bit. Let's go in like this. Then we'll go out. And we'll go out one more time. And then this part over here, you know, the ear is not, it's not just the extrusion. It has this edge to it that sticks out. So this is gonna be like the ear lobes and all that. And now we just need to shape it. So I have this faces here that I want to move back. This one's so we'll move all this forward, something like this, because the ear does stick out from the head, and on the front it doesn't. There's a little bump, but not quite this big. So what we're going to do is collapse this edge, this one. These three edges will collapse. I'll actually bring that in a bit. It's sticking out too much still. There we go, something like that. And then the front of the ear connects to the head, so we'll collapse this one too. Let's see. Let's see if that looks correct. Oh yeah, well, I don't know if we should collapse it, because if we have a detached earlobe, we probably want this. Well, let's try just moving these edges, see what happens. I'll have to, if you hit Control, you can say to vertex or to vertices. We can move the vertices, so we can move these other guys too together. And like this. Maybe if we let go of this two now and go in. Well, I should let go of this one too. Go in, kind of. Oh. So that's the ear. You know, we could put a lot more geometry here, but again, this is just our base mesh, you know. From this, you distort it to other things. It's the same with the female. You distort it to look like other things. So I know the ear was, we extruded it completely square. We need to round it now, so it's not so square. So we can go like this, you know. It's obviously way too long, so let's fix that. It shouldn't be this long going backwards, so we'll fix it really quick. Make sure we don't select anything by mistake here. If I hit 4, you can see, oh, there's a point here we don't want. And then we just move stuff forward, hitting 5. Let's move these points too, so everything's kind of lined up a little better. There we go. Then we don't want these points anymore, nor these ones. Make sure nothing else is selected by mistake. Look, oh, the whole hand is selected back there, so let's just do the ear again. Let's see if I can pick a right angle here to select it. This is probably the best, so give it another shot here. There is a lasso select here on the side if you want to use lasso instead, and not mess around with the selection like I'm doing. But yeah, I don't want this ones either. Make sure nothing else is, oh, there's a couple points here. There we go. So move this forward. And we can shape this just like we did around the eyes. We can shape this faces to go around the ear also, so they're not so stretched out. Yeah, but you know, the ear is still still sticking out quite a bit. It looks like an alien. So we'll fix it here. You know, little by little. So I'm gonna shrink the selection with shift comma or less than. Oh, make sure your points here are not collapsing. So but yeah, this is just shaping, so I'm not gonna waste your time with it. Once you have this geometry, you have everything. All we have left to do is fix these end guns we left in here. So I'm just gonna cut across. We left an end gun here, and we left this end gun right here. We could use this to create some of the muscles on the face. You know, just make our edge turn around here like we've been doing. So let's say we put another loop here, and then we come across, and then we do our sternomastoid muscle. We can come right here, I guess. You know, and then we have something to shape in here. Actually, it goes behind the ear, so you could redirect this to come behind the ear, come all the way up here. It's not necessary because, again, we're going to sculpt this, but you can spend some time shaping this. I'm going to leave it here so you can take your time shaping. Oh, don't forget to fix the back. And round the neck also is really square. So we need to round it. We do have an end gun here. We can make it loop down, you know, just like we've been making loop everything. Cause yeah, we have this strange. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just have it come down here, and actually this edge. Gosh, I have the knife still. This edge we're going to delete, and you can make this loop down here and then connect the corners so you don't have end guns. And then you have to round the neck, obviously, super square. So I'll let you do that on your own. You can take your time. I will just do it here quietly, and I'll speed up the recording.